Do you think it's fair that Glasnow and Brian Anderson are throwing out speculations on the Blue Jays?
Well, here's the thing, man. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog.
I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today, guys, Tyler Glasnow, Brian Anderson, speculating over whether the Toronto Blue Jays were cheating or picking off signs in Tyler Glasnow's last start against the Blue Jays. We're going to talk about that. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you like this channel, if you like the content. And as well, guys, if you are reoccurring, I'm sure you've heard this a lot, Monkey Knife Fight, Manscaped. This is how you promote us, keep us going, keep us creating this content for you, is by using our code TODAYJays, betting app, Manscaped. You can get some products, great stuff, good stuff all around. But let's get to the real deal here.
Yeah. Let's get to the real deal.
So Tyler Glasnow was kind of speculating over something didn't feel right in my start. He was kind of piggybacking off of Tampa Bay broadcaster Brian Anderson. So what was that all about?
Yeah, and I mean, like, let's not mince words. We got the quotes here, and I will read them off. But you're right, man. He had a start. It wasn't elite. 4.2 innings, 93 pitches. I think he only had 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
That's rare right now because Glasnow has been elite. A 2.57 ERA, a 0.93 whip, 98 strikeouts over 7 innings. He has been dominant so far this season. And in both of his starts, because we've had 2 of them against us, we've gotten the better of him.
Yes, we have.
The last one being the 4.2 innings. So basically, there was a little speculation as to potentially are the Blue Jays doing something, like what happened there wasn't on Tyler's end. So I'm going to read off a couple quotes here. Brian Anderson is a Rays broadcast team person. He does this for the Rays. We have our guys. We got Buck. We got Dan, whatever. This is their guy, Brian Anderson. So Anderson came out and said, all I know is I've watched enough of these games and you understand Glasnow stuff, and I've seen enough to know something was wrong. I don't know if it was from Tyler's end or from the Blue Jays' end, but something was in play. It didn't look right. It didn't feel right. Something was off. Okay? Interesting. Glasnow then comes back, like you said, piggybacking off of what this guy said, and he said, I don't know. I definitely think about it. I'm not quite sure. I think you'd have to ask the Blue Jays what was going on. It was definitely strange. I think I had some decent swing and miss stuff. I think that the takes were different. End quote. So that's what they said. They didn't come out outright and say, oh, like we think the Blue Jays are cheating or something is up here. But there was a bit of an insinuation going on here.
Speculation, because of course Tyler Glasnow, like, he's so good. Why is it that the one team he faces, he just gets blown up and he can't get the strikeouts on? Must be something going on there. Well, manager Kevin Cash actually kind of dispelled both of them.
Yeah,
and just like flat out, he said, we know that the Blue Jays are a talented group of hitters. They had a track record of not striking out. Not a ton of swing and miss. Generally speaking, Glasnow can bring out the worst in teams that he faces because his stuff is so nasty. But for whatever reason that night, they seem to be hitting him pretty well. So what do you think of this, Nick? Do you think it's fair that Glasnow and Brian Anderson are throwing out speculations on the Blue Jays?
Well, here's the thing, man. Like I said, they didn't come out and say, oh, I think that they're cheating. Yeah. So, I mean, all the respect to them. We're definitely not saying that they said that.
Accusing, they're kind of,
but there is definitely an insinuation. And I don't think it's super cool to come out and start kind of insinuating or stirring the pot like that, because the only evidence that these guys had here, the only evidence that they were saying or they were claiming was that Glasnow's stuff looked different and he wasn't doing as well as he typically does. Yeah. And from that regard, that's just kind of bullshit in my mind, because when Ryu comes out, our star ace, and gets blown up, kind of like he did in the game against Boston, my first thought isn't, oh, is Boston doing something?
Right.
My first thought is, yes, they are doing something, and it's hitting him really well.
Yeah, guys, it's not that hard to believe that the Toronto Blue Jays are a different organization that has a different game plan against your pitcher.
Right?
All right? You're like, oh, he was saying something before in his quote that like some of the takes seemed off. Like they almost knew it was coming. Well, like you said earlier, were they cheating or were they tipping pitches? You might have just been tipping your pitches, Glasnow. You've done it in the past in 2019. You've clearly tipped based on where your hands were positioned in your set position. It could have been something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the video, so again, I don't know. I'm not accusing you of that. That's, again, just speculation, right? But that could easily be it. Or they have just recognized your pitches and your hands and recognized your patterns because they've studied you enough. I don't know. Maybe we're just better than you, Glasnow.
Well, and I think, and you know what? I think that's just kind of what it comes down to, man, is like, I think it's a little bit insulting for them to come out and talk about the Blue Jays as like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't you strike out 10 of them?
Right,
you know,
right.
where it's like, it seems like that old mentality where it's like, they still think we're stuck in rebuild land.
Right,
they haven't
right.
come around and realized, oh, maybe we actually have some talented hitters on our ball club, like Semien, like Guerrero, like Bichette, who can use their eyeballs efficiently, know what you're trying to do to them, and then adjust accordingly. So, as of right now, guys, there is no confirmation that we have cheated or anything like that. If it does come out that we were stealing signs, then my biggest apologies to you, Glasnow. My biggest apologies to the MLB on behalf of the team that we follow. That is not cool. We do not support that. But as of right now, to come out and say, well, something was off because I was getting weird takes, I think that's kind of an issue. And maybe you need to go and do a little bit more research about the Toronto Blue Jays hitters if you want to strike out 10 against us next time.
Go back to the video room. Look at yourself. Yes, issue. Go back. Study. What were you doing, dude? You can't blame us all the time.
Agreed.
Get a little bit better. So, guys, what do you think about this whole situation with Tyler Glasnow? Do you think he's in the right? Do you think he was being a bit of a sore loser? Let us know in the comments down below.
Yes, guys. You can also check us out on Spotify, Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. Also, please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this channel and this content. Also, I did it wrong the other day. Is it Manscaped over here? Monkey Knife Fight over there?
Monkey Knife Fight Manscaped.
Well, those are our sponsors.
The
and today, Jays is our code to hop on either of them to get a discount and get some benefits. So definitely do that. Also, $3 a month, and you can become a Patreon. You can call into the show when we were drinking, like we are right now. Usually, it's a little bit more on the wine on wine because that's when you call in and it's good time.
Yes.
Shout out and thank you to everybody who has done so far. Also, we need somebody for the wine on wine to call in. This is coming out on Friday. So if you're watching this and you're a Patreon, you want to call in tonight? And if you're not a Patreon, $3 a month, you can become a Patreon and literally call into the show
3 hours.
Today.
Like there's in 3 hours.
In 3 hours, we will be drinking right here. You can call us if you become a Patreon. So if you want, do it.
We're waiting. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And go, Jays, go.